Trust dreams, trust your heart, and trust your story. Touch the wooden gate in the wall you never saw before. Say please before you open the latch. Go through. Walk down the path. A red metal imp hangs from the green painted front door as a knocker. Do not touch it. It will bite your fingers. Walk through the house. Take nothing, eat nothing. However, if any creature tells you that it hungers, feed it. If it tells you that it is dirty, clean it. And if it cries to you that it hurts, if you can, ease its pain. From the back garden, you will be able to see the wild wood. The deep well you walk past leads to Winter's realm. There is another land at the bottom of it. If you turn around here, you can walk back safely. You will lose no face. I will think no less of you. That snippet is from one of my favorite works of literature because it manages to capture the essence of fairy tales with beautiful words, beautiful imagery, and kindness. But it also manages to do what I would think would be impossible, which is to give you a set of instructions for surviving and even thriving if you should ever find yourself thrown into a fairy tale. And the reason this is so difficult is because while there are some rules that we all know, don't eat anything, don't accept gifts, don't give out things unless you get something of equal value in return, and never, never give your name. Beyond that, the rules of fairies are incredibly varied because every type of fairy is different. Sometimes they're little Tinkerbells that you see in a Disney movie, and sometimes they're these elaborate, complex civilizations of the Seelie and Unseelie courts, and sometimes they're even weirder. But what makes fairy tales so amazing and why I love them so much is because they're always some form of interaction between us, who know who we are and what we can do, and this other reality where there are different rules and different customs and different personalities and different motives. And when those things come together, you end up with a completely different story than you would get from a normal story. Sometimes there are challenges that come out of that seem insurmountable. As insurmountable as a hill made of pink glass that is so smooth that no rider can make it up to the top. Some people fail. Rip Van Winkle accepted the whiskey from the dwarves, and the price was sleeping for 20 years of his life. But sometimes the problems are solved as easily as the smart younger brother going after his two older, dumber brothers, befriending a mystical horse, and being able to ride the first apple up to the top of the mountain to deliver it to the princess. Something else I love about fairy tales is they are so approachable at whether you are a child or an adult. And even a children's story has fascination to it. The only difference is the complexity. With a children's story, you simply need to find where the 12 dancing princesses go at night. You have to befriend 3 animals so that the scrying princess can't find you. Or the soldier needs to learn that the tinderbox was the true treasure all along. And when he strikes it once, twice, 3 times, and summons all 3 dogs to save him from his execution, he has successfully thrived in that story. But then in the adult stories, you get the same themes, but they become much more complex and interwoven. In Naomi Novak's Spinning Silver, the ice warriors come along the ice road, and they are formidable and unknowable and infinitely powerful and dangerous. But the fact is, both their realm and the mortal realm are in danger. And only by solving a number of riddles and problems with the fairies needing to understand something about our realm and us needing to understand theirs, can both realms be saved. In Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, the main character is thrown into this strange London beyond. And partway through the book, he manages to claw his way back out of it, back to his home realm. But when he gets there, he finds that it's boring and mundane, and that in order to do what he promised, he has to return to London below. And in doing so, he goes back with no more power than he had before, no more insight, but he's going back by choice. And in that moment, he begins to survive and ultimately thrives. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, one of my favorite books, 700 pages, and only partway through do you realize that it's really all about how fairy works in the realm of mortals. Jonathan Strange, the most powerful wizard of the age, cannot challenge the fairies until he gives his mind and body and soul to enter the fairy realms and challenge the Lord on his own terms. These are all themes that I love. And as a world builder, as a game master, I love bringing those things to my stories. I love having stories where the players go and they fight the dragon or whatever. Those are fun. But I love it when the characters put their toe into another reality, another world, and now they have to decide what do they want to do about it. I literally put them on a dream road that took them to a village that had not existed for 800 years. And they interacted with the people there, and they knew what they had to do to help those people. And when they left, they were back where they started with nothing but the memories and a single token. And now they have to figure out how they can ease the pain of people from 800 years ago. I literally threw them into a story one time several years ago. They literally had to go find the mystical cloak, which doesn't exist. It's only in a story. So how do they work their way into the story? How do they recover this? How do they deliver to what they promised so they could achieve their greater goal? The fact is, this was incredibly tricky for them. And the only way they survived was they trusted their dreams, they trusted their heart, and they trusted their story. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.